Section 1.6 is solving proportions. Our goal is to solve linear equations and inequalities in one variable. On page 52, we have in the solve it, the number of red beads and the number of blue beads are quantities that have a proportional relationship. This means that the ratio of the quantities is constant, even though the quantities themselves can change. For example, as you are making the necklace, you will have 2 red beads and 3 blue beads, then 4 red beads and 6 blue beads, then 6 red beads and 9 blue beads, and so on. At each stage, the ratio of red beads to blue beads remains constant, 2 to 3. A proportional relationship can produce an infinite number of equivalent ratios. Any 2 of these can be used to write a proportion. A proportion is an equation that states that 2 ratios are equal. For example, A over B equals C over D, where B does not equal 0 and D does not equal 0, is a proportion. You read this as A is to B as C is to D. If 2 ratios are equal and the quantity in one of the ratios is unknown, you can write and solve a proportion to find the unknown quantity. So for example 1, we have 7 over 8 is equal to m over 12. What is the solution? So we're trying to figure out what this m value up top is going to be. So this problem actually only has one real step, and then we just simplify. So the only thing that's on the same side as m that we need to get rid of is that 12. Now, because we have a fraction, we have m divided by 12, so the opposite of division would be to multiply both sides by 12. This would give us 12 times 7 over 1 times 8 equals m times 12 over 12 times 1. Notice we have a 12 on the top and the bottom, so those become 1, and we don't need to write them. And then all we have left over on the denominator is a 1, so we can just write the right-hand side as m. When you multiply 12 by 7, you get 84. So we now have 84 over 8 on the left-hand side, and all we need to do is simplify this. If you want to leave it as a mixed number, you would get 10 and 1/2, or if you actually divide 84 by 8, you get 10.5. Either way is okay for your final answer. The next few slides have some ideas to think about, and then all the work with the explanations off to the side, and a check. So if you plug your 10.5 back in, 10.5 divided by 12 gives you 0.875, 7 divided by 8 gives you 0.875, so the solution checks. Now I would like you to solve the proportion using the multiplication property of equality to figure out what m is when we have m over 7 equals 3 over 5.